What's up, YouTube? It's Josh Palaut, the RuneScape Felon, finally back again with an official video. I may have mentioned that a few weeks ago I recorded one and edited it and everything, and then my graphics card was a little too weak to actually render it and export it. I was unaware that you can do CPU export at that time. I was told about it. I know about it now, but luckily a friend of mine, Dylan, also known as a Tall Dragon in my Twitch chat, actually sent me a 2070, an RTX 2070. So I have an upgraded graphics card. We're going to try this again with the Adobe Premiere Pro. I really want to learn how to use it and get better at it. So bear with me if the editing sucks ass, because I'm trying here. So initially, the Tales from the Jungle series was created because I get asked so many questions repeatedly that I just decided to do a video series to address the questions. And this, I don't think technically counts as a Tales from the Jungle, because it's not really directly just stories from prison, I guess, or a story from prison. I'm sure I'll reference several. But I get asked a lot what it was like to basically time travel forward, because prison stays the same. All you have in there is TV and magazines to give you any inkling of the outside world. We don't have technology in there. We didn't have Oculus Rifts. We didn't have Snapgram and InstaChat and all that good stuff. We had TVs, magazines, and the same exact stuff that they had in prisons in the 1920s, except now we have old-ass, little tiny MP3 players that cost $1.55 to buy a song, and they cost $90 for a $10 MP3 player. Other than that, not a lot of new technology, not a lot of new style coming in. The style is khakis. Khaki shirt, khaki pants, boots. You can get gray shirts and gray sweatpants, sweatsuits off of the commissary. That's about it. So, needless to say, nobody's really keeping up with fashion trends very much. They're not keeping up with new technologies, etc., etc. So I'm here to answer today, what were the biggest changes between going to prison in 2012 and getting out today? So we have to bear in mind before we start that I was actually released the first time in 2017. I think it was September 8th. It might have been September 7th, actually, of 2017. It was actually the day after Mom had cancer surgery, successful cancer surgery. So my grandparents had to pick me up. That video is on the channel. You can go find it if you want to. Actual footage of my first release from prison, wherein I'd done just 30 days shy of 5 years, from 2012 to 2017. I was just right at the edge of being back at October 8th, which would have been 5 years exactly. I was in a halfway house for about 4 months. Then they gave me house arrest for the last 2 months. I was then sent to rehab for 3 months. And I was out and on probation for like 40 to 45 days, about a month and a half, before I violated my probation and was sent back to prison. This time I got out July 12th of 2019. Yeah, I guess it would have been 2019. Wow. Okay. So I was basically constantly locked up or unable to fully enjoy technology and society from 2012 until 2019, till mid 2019. And so here are the vast majority, not the vast majority, here's a good grip on the changes that I witnessed coming out and what left me feeling confused and lost. And essentially, this is not an excuse here, but it is a contributing factor, essentially why I ended up relapsing so quickly and violated the terms of my probation and went back for another year. One of the biggest things that confused the shit out of me whenever I got out of prison is slang. There was already an entirely new set of slang, and also some phrases that were only really used by gamers and small cliques became mainstream, like salty. I remember people saying salty back in the day, but slang was really, really confusing to me. I don't say lit, at least not sarcastically, I guess. I mean, only sarcastically because I'm 28 years old. So I'll be like, that was lit, fam. Fam is another one that I had not heard. I mean, I guess unless you were referring to your actual family, I'd heard, yeah, fam. But even, no, not really. I'd never heard fam. Bae, B-A-E, was an interesting one. So I was all like, I am totally unsalted, lit bae fam, when I got out trying to catch up. You know, these phrases really, I mean, and I feel like context clues will tell you what a lot of these means. Somebody says, yo, that's lit, and it's something cool. Well, you can obviously gather the fact that that's like the new phrase for something cool, I guess, or something popping, or whatever, you know, but it was really strange to me, and it's still something that sounds really odd to my ear. I feel like a lot of people that haven't been to prison feel that way, that this new slang and the new way that youngsters are talking is very strange to them, and it feels just kind of forced to me. I'm not in the culture, so it feels that way to me. It feels like people are trying to use like brand new cutting edge slang to, you know, sound like they're in the times or whatever, but I don't know. Lit sounds dumb to me no matter who says it. I'm sorry, but it's true. Hopefully my videos are lit up, fam, and you're not salty. Another thing that I saw coming, I guess, a little bit through, this was just predicted my entire life, was the dependence on social media and screens. I have a song that nobody listened to on my Spotify called Screens that I wrote while I was still locked up the first time because I already knew it was going to be this bad. And I'm not trying to preach here because I'm addicted to RuneScape like you wouldn't believe, and I'm always looking at my phone and surfing and trying to be involved in my social media, my Discord and stuff like that. Basically desperately trying to stay relevant as a 28-year-old ex-convict. So when I got locked up, we used to say a joke. We used to say, how much does a hipster weigh? An Instagram. Because so few people were using Instagram. It already existed, but it sounded so stupid to me. It was an app where you just showed each other pictures. I didn't get it. I didn't understand what the appeal would be. I was like, who the hell cares? Facebook's got pictures, and now Facebook has gradually become the domain of old conspiracy theorists that like to learn facts exclusively from Facebook without ever actually typing it in on Google. Or if they do type it in on Google, they scroll to the bottom of the page and find something that ain't got no actual scientific value or credit whatsoever. But we were all still pretty heavily involved in Facebook back in 2012. Obviously, MySpace had been dead, cold, and grave rotted for years at that point. But I barely even used Facebook. I was never cutting edge on social media. I never really cared for social media. The only reason I got a MySpace is because my 13-year-old, I was 13 at the time, my girlfriend made me get one. She made the account for me and made the page and stuff, and then I got into it. And I didn't make a Facebook until I was 17 or 18. I was probably one of the last human beings on earth to make a Facebook in that day and age. Never cared too terribly much for social media. I enjoy it now to a certain extent. I just limit what I say and what I do on there. I don't understand why people think that their political beliefs matter. You have a YouTube channel or a Discord server or something, and you're talking about your politics. You didn't change anybody's mind. You're just going to cause animosity and division and alienate people. But I guess we can get to politics here in a second. But yeah, the high level of addiction to screens and cameras was undoubtedly different to me. Everybody is just like, everything in your life revolves around likes, follows, likes, subscribers, likes, follows. Everybody's so obsessed with it. Everybody's photoshopping their pictures and trying to make it out like they live these crazy lives, and they really don't. There's nothing realistic about it at all. Everybody wants to be a Kardashian or something, and for some reason I went to prison and came out and they're still relevant. I don't know, man. It's really confusing to me how people just live and breathe social media. My wife and I actually recently watched that episode of Black Mirror where everybody's based on their social media score and their whole lives revolve around it, and people already act like that. That was a pretty poignant episode in my opinion, but that was definitely a strange change for me. Needless to say, I'm mostly hooked on YouTube. I watch all RuneScape YouTube all day, all the time, and of course I watch Daily Dose of Internet or whatever, Jared Dines and Stevie T and Davey 504. I'm hooked on YouTube and RuneScape. That's my addiction to the screens, but that doesn't mean that mine is less bad than somebody else's. It doesn't mean my addiction to screens is better than anybody else's. My song and my opinion on it is just basically commentary. We're almost cyborgs at this point. Now, this is what I would probably say is the biggest difference that I noticed between that age and this age, and this is the one that I always just kind of give the rundown of when people ask. They say, what's the most surprising thing about getting locked up then and getting out? Look, I tried the Oculus Rift or virtual reality. I'm not sure specifically that. On the first day that I met my wife's family, it was amazing. I've been waiting my entire childhood for that. It was mind-blowing. I couldn't believe it. I read about it when I first got locked up. I was like, this is crazy. I've wanted virtual reality my entire life, my whole childhood, and now it's coming out and I'm locked up, and I finally got to try it. Amazing technology. It was shocking. It was surprising. I never had a touch-screen phone when I got locked up the first time. I had a scroll-ball BlackBerry at the time of my arrest. A lot of people did have touch screens, but I never had one. I didn't have a driver's license. Out of all of that, guys, out of all the crazy new world, the slang and the doofus haircuts with the fade on the side and the up swoop with the frosted tips and all this weird shit, out of all of this, the single hardest, strangest thing to grasp for me was the complete and total animosity towards everybody who feels differently than you about something. And that it mostly comes down to politics. Every single person today, almost, it seems like, not only thinks that their political opinion is the single most important, most correct thing on the planet Earth, they're not trying to hear compromise. They don't want to hear nothing from your side. If you're your side, I hope you die is the way that everybody acts. It's insane. Everything now is fucking crybaby snowflake liberals and fucking conservative asshole psychopath murderers. Everybody's just, oh my god, bro, just name calling and lying and hating. I mean, just animosity, man. There's no compassion anymore. There's no trying to reach across the aisle and work together to accomplish your goals. I can tell you from personal experience, having been in what is damn near the equivalent to a war on the inside of prison that is the daily life in there between races and groups and gangs. And the number one way to get shit done and make the world a better place for everybody all the way around is to compromise. Don't go too far one way or too far the other way. You got to hit the yin yang. You got to listen to other people. Say, you know what? Okay, We can incorporate my suggestions here. We can incorporate your suggestions. We can meet in the middle. Everybody thinks it's either we got to build this huge fucking wall or just open the border and let everybody come across it. Why aren't there more reasonable ways that we can work towards that don't have to be one extreme or the other, you know? People don't think like that anymore. I come out and everybody wants the other side to die and just go extinct, and they hate each other and they lie and they cheat and they just freak out, and the animosity is insane. And it goes everywhere. It's not just with politics strictly. I mean, this also happens, you know, with internet conversations. People act like I acted on that day a lot of times now, just when they're playing video games. Just, I hate you, I hope you die, please kill yourself, and all this stuff, and calling each other horrific names, the likes of what, like, I said something offensive, man, but I didn't call people horrible names, you know, and make these personal attacks at the dude. I just went off on a one-off tangent because it was relevant to the conversation that had started it, you know. And don't get me wrong, when I play Overwatch, you better have your Serpentine Visage on from old school RuneScape, because I get toxic, all right? I get toxic, and I call people the B word, which is the worst thing you can call somebody in prison. And I get banned a lot on Overwatch because I'm toxic. To be fair, that is the day and age that I grew up in, the Halo 2 and Halo 3 era. But there's such a true level of animosity behind people disagreeing with your beliefs in this day and age, you know, and it really is one of the strangest things. The polarization is off the charts in both directions. There is no, let's meet in the middle, let's yin-yang this shit. You can take black and white to make gray. And listen, a truly great compromise leaves both people feeling a little bit unhappy. That's when you know you did it right. Truly great compromise will leave you unsatisfied. And the same for the other, but it is the middle ground. It's the right way to go, man. It's a strange new world out here, dude. Trying that virtual reality with my brother-in-laws, Tanner and Tyler, was like nuts. I'd been waiting my whole childhood for that. I remember getting a little shitty virtual reality headset from like Dollar General that my dad got me when I was like 10, and it was like you put it on your head and it had slide down little earbuds that you put in your ear right here, and it had gloves on that could detect if you were moving your hands, you know. And it was like, it looked like it was worse than an original Game Boy. It was like Atari graphics of like a ninja, and he was either here or in the middle. If he was in the middle, you had to bang your head forward. If he went left, you moved your left hand and he was dead. It was not virtual reality at all. It was like almost like having two Nintendo Power Gloves on, and if you moved them hard enough and fast enough, it would pick up motion and defeat it. So it was amazing to get out to that, man. And, you know, having touch screens and all these crazy apps and all this stuff like that. I mean, I have stuff in this room that I really couldn't have even dreamed of at that point in time, man. Twitch streaming is incredible. Twitch.tv/jpalalt. Twitch streaming is absolutely amazing. It's a natural progression of the gaming world, in my opinion. YouTube has better content, better quality than I ever could have imagined. Back when we were all watching, you know, Charlie Bit Me and the original Smosh crew and all that stuff, man, the world has come up with some incredible advances, and I'm really excited to see where we go in the next decade or two, and I'm really excited to be here to experience it this time. But that's pretty much the gist of like the most shocking things that I see nowadays, is mostly everybody hating each other, how strange these young kids are to me, and technology is definitely a weird one. Technology is a weird one, man, but I'm learning. I'm still bad at YouTube, as you guys know. I'm bad at video editing. I'm bad at filming them. But I'm working on it. I want to work towards where I get better at editing to the point that I can do 2 or 3 videos a week. That's the dream here, guys. So I appreciate everybody riding with me through this, all right? But that's pretty much the summary of the worst things that are the strangest changes that I saw coming out of prison. I guess not necessarily the worst. Some other stuff is bad too. But I will use this opportunity to remind you guys to please seek compromise. Show a little compassion. We're all human, man. We all just want to go home to our families at the end of the night. We all have different opinions on what we think is best for the world, and until one of them's in practice, nobody's going to know for sure. So you might as well meet in the middle, incorporate both elements, and see what you can accomplish, guys. You got to listen to the other side. This is not Nazi Germany, man. We don't just stifle all opinions other than ours. So show a little compassion today, somebody. Do something nice for somebody. Tell somebody you had a disagreement with that you're sorry or something like that, man. Make the world a better place, one person at a time, you know. But I love you guys, man. I hope y'all have had a fantastic week. I'm sorry for the delay in the videos. You already saw, hopefully, in my last video why this has been going on. But I do want to be more active, and I might even do a live stream before this comes out. So we'll see. If you're here and you just got done from the live stream, leave a 69 in the comments or something like that. But I love you guys, man. I will see you all next week. Stay happy, stay free. Most importantly, stay safe. And I'll probably hit you with the Tales from the Jungle next week, all right? Love you guys.